Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to SuperCoach Edge and another edition of Damo's Team Talk. This time coming out of round 22. Who would have thought? Only 2 rounds remaining of the 2025 season. Has actually gone quick. Must admit, it's sped right up and crept up on me. Only when I just saw the round 22 on the SuperCoach page did I realise that, we're actually here. We're nearly at the finish line. And of course, when it comes to leagues, we are ever so close to the grand final and the glory of it all. Of course, if you are in cash leagues, if you're just finding it out for a bit of glory, bragging rights, we are almost there. So let us go through and check out how I went for round 22, and ended up scoring a 2,484. And believe it or not, it seems as though it's kind of the norm now, as we've seen over the past few weeks. Around about this mark, you need to be eclipsing it if you want to be making ground in the ranks. I ended up sliding, believe it or not, 1,145, which I find astounding. I actually thought that I was around about par, maybe 2,500 was the par, so maybe below par slightly. But to slide over 1,000 ranks, I think is a bit perplexing, I think. I don't know areas of my team that weren't as good as others, apart from not having Nasaya the Wangan and Miller, of course, but outside of that, very strange. So season rank, I am ranked 9,044th overall, so just inside the top 10K, which is the main aim. So hopefully from here we can consolidate things, maybe make our way back to around about the 7,000 mark. That's probably our only hope with only 2 rounds remaining of the season. So let's quickly go through and have a look at how we fared line by line, of course. And as you can see, if you are watching us on YouTube, of course, you'll see it on screen, and it is Jack Sinclair in defence. As I floated against Richmond, they give up bulk points to opposition defenders and running defenders at that. And Jack Sinclair now has, he rules the roost in defence now with the Wang virtually full-time the mid. He's still kind of splitting his role, but Sinclair feasted 135, and he's been scoring back to the usual output of the Jack Sinclair we know and love. His past 5 weeks, 106, 120, 132, 128, 135. So a really, really nice run of form now, and faces Essendon as well this coming round. So can't complain about that. Harry Sheasel, 112, and just, plugging along, really just head down, bum up, getting it done. Kind of the ceiling scores we haven't really seen from Sheasel this season compared to last season, but hey, we'll take it. He's averaging 104. He scored 112, so that's a tick in our books. Now, Jordan Clark, 82. He has gone back to that usual up, down form that he had earlier in the cell, maybe about 2 months ago, and his past 3 weeks, 71, 122, 82. Come on, mate. What are you doing? Especially during the all-important SuperCoach finals, we don't need this. He's only owned by 15.1% of the competition, so a relative pod when we're talking about primos. So can hurt us if he does have a below par round. So hopefully he can turn things around and bust one out against the Lions at Optus Stadium on their home deck. So come on, Geordie. Do it for us. Lockie Whitfield, 99. That was his first below ton score he's had since round 13. We will, of course, exclude that concussed, affected score of 16 back in round 15 against the Suns. But yeah, he's been scoring okay outside of that. 105, 104, 110, 126 was really building over the past month. And then busted at a 99 against North Melbourne, which is awfully disappointing. So Lockie Whitfield, come on, lad. Now, he's owned by 29.2% of the competition, so he's more than double the ownership of Jordan Clark, as I was kind of highlighting there. So, it does affect, obviously, a third of the competition, almost, but yeah, it's annoying because I always find that I have these primos in leagues where my opponent does not. As it turns out, it's just a strange way things work, even when it is, a primo like this, which is, relatively highly owned. Callum Mills at 89, thereabouts, slightly below his average, but yeah, he's been scoring quite well. Now faces the Cats and round things out with a encounter against West Coast in round 24. So we are hoping with a bit of a bounce back here, especially in this prelim final week. So we need all of our boys on their game and tip-top shape. So come on, Callum. Now, Dane Zorko, I've spoken about him. I wish I had the trades to trade this bloke out. He has fallen in a heap. No real saving grace here, I think. He's just, when he's turning up, he's just turning up. He's sort of limping across the line. And when he's not turning up, he's going, not even 80s. I think 80 to 90 is a pass marker, I think, for Primo's having an off week, but he's having way too many of these off weeks. And in recent weeks, 65, 71, 98, just not good enough and really frustrating. But we just have to grin and bear it. Like, owned by 27.2% of the competition, slightly less ownership than Whitfield. And we just have to hope that our opponents in our cash leagues own him as well to offset the frustration and damage that he is doing in our team. But hey, you watch him turn around and bust out a big score against Freo this round. Jeez, I say that with a little bit of hope in my voice. So we'll wait and see what happens there. Angus Clark on the bench, 46. Sardell Hooley not playing, of course. For the midfield, Bontempelli, a 125. He was our captain choice. Our follow-up, we did put the VC on Holmes first up, 99, and it was funny because I was kind of tossing up between Holmes, Cameron, and Basilenka. And a lot of people were putting the VC on Holmes. Been in some pretty good form, so I thought, why not? Outside of that, I thought maybe a Hail Mary on Jesse Cameron. That would have been a very frustrating watch, but got those late goals to really salvage his score with a 106. But Holmes at 99, that was putrid. He got caught holding the ball at least 3 times, I remember, in one quarter. I think it was the second or third quarter, and was very, very frustrating. Outside of that, Basilenka, 141. So if we had him, he was our third option, I think, of those 3 in Holmes, Jezza, and Baz. And he scored the most, 141. So we would have obviously locked that in. Outside of Bont as our captaincy option, we really like the look of Jack Sinclair, 135. We spoke about him as one of the big, I am the captain now options in our weekly podcast. Likewise as well, Maxi Gawn has favourable history against Western Bulldogs and against Tim English. As it turned out, another big score against them, 142. He was our backup option as well for the C if we didn't go for Bont, but we just figured with what the Dogs had to play for, that Bont would have been up and about. But not to be. Gawn scored, an extra 17 points. So in the grand scheme of things, not that much. You look at the totals, 142 v 125, and you're like, missed out a fair bit there. Not really, but we'll hope to go one better for next round when it comes to captains. Nick Dacos, 99, was never in the frame there for the VC or the C for me. Maxi Holmes, 99 as well, as I said. Basilenka, 141. Zach Butters, 130, which was good to see. Caleb Sarong, now, he was a very, very nice surprise. Against Port Adelaide, I did not see this coming. 131, which is his biggest score since round 15 when he scored the 149 against Essendon. So thank you, Caleb. Keep it coming, mate. You got some relatively tough matchups against Brisbane and the Dogs to come. Connor Rosie, 112, which is good. He's been out for 2 games now. Since round 18, he's had round 19 off and round 21, of course, through illness. So good to see him returning to a nice ton of 112. Chad Warner, the Chad, he has been owing us. He's very much like Zorko. When he's tunning up, he's just limping over the line. He's passed 3 tons over the past month, 105, 106, and 106. And then, of course, the 70 against Essendon in round 21. Clay Hall, now our bench options are actually scoring quite well if we needed any cover. So that is, a bit of confidence there in case someone is a late out. Clay Hall, an 80, a nice little return to an 80 there. His past 5 scores have read 85, 84, 81, 60, and an 80. So really has been making the cash over the past few weeks. But not that we have any trades to trade him out if we needed to, cash him out virtually as a bit of a cash cow. But has made across the journey to 19.9k, which is incredible, I think, considering we were actually thinking about trading him out in round 14 against Carlton when he actually was named, I think, albeit as the sub, and then from then on made bulk cash. So thank you, Clay Hall, and if we need to rely upon you, you might come in handy. Now, speaking of nice scores as well, Hugh Boxall, 92. His past 2 games, 88, 92, albeit against North and Richmond, but we'll take it any week. Doesn't matter the opposition. So if we need a little bit of cover, he is a very handy option. Zach Johnson didn't play. And frustrating for me is that I have these 2, non-playing players in defence and in the midfield in Zach Johnson and Al Hooley. both from Essendon, and their last 2 games for the season, believe it or not, are the first games. So very, very frustrating. Not much I can do, but I can't obviously use them as any loopholes. So just a bit of a waste there, but is what it is. I can thank the AFL for being arseholes and putting Essendon in the first game for round 24. Might have given us a nice little leg up if need be for the grand final, but can't do much about it. For the for the Rucks, Brody Grundy, 99. Now, he went down late with a bit of a, I don't know what to call it. He copped a hit, a knock, went down. They were worried about concussion. I'm crossing my fingers that he's okay to play in round 23 because we obviously need him. He's the ace up our sleeves that we got into our team for our league finals, for our matchups, just, because of the fact that he's scoring so well, his form's awesome, and his last 2 home and away games, he has against the Cats this round and then against West Coast in the SuperCoach grand final. So I think for me, we'll speak about it in a moment with VCs and Cs, but from the outset, I'm thinking of the last 2 games of the round, Grundy as the VC, into Bont as the C against West Coast. That is kind of a bit of a gimme. So hopefully, fingers crossed that Grundy is okay, he's cleared to play, because if he's out, that's going to hurt us massively. So knock on wood, he's all good. The great Grundy, the ultimate G, as we refer to him here. Now, Gorney, Miso Gorney, 142, spoke about him, was bullish on his scores against English, and he busted out a nice one again against the old English breakfast with that 142. Harry Boyd in R3 obviously didn't play and has kind of just been a bit of a waste. Remember back to when he was the hot ticket item in the preseason. We all thought that he's going to be, playing tandem alongside Marshall, much like, TDK, if he goes to St Kilda, which he probably will be playing that tandem role with Marshall if Marshall sticks around, of course. But just very strange because coming in with high raps, Harry Boyd, and he's only played the round 1 game, and that was it. Done his dash. So, poor bloke. But anyway, it is what it is. For the forwards, Jesse Cameron, 106, salvageable score there. Didn't look too good early on, and finishes the season with a game against Sydney and then a game against Richmond. So, hopefully he can continue his ton run going towards 100 goals. Now, Sam Darcy salvaged a bit of a score here because he wasn't tracking too well until he had virtually game-saving mark and a couple of nice moments, kicked some snags. So it could have been a lower score than that, but we will take it. Isaac Rankin, 121. He kind of piled on the points late in the piece again and looked really good. 2 big back-to-back scores now of 129 and 121. So thank you, Isaac. Jack McRae, 104. Just hobbled over the ton mark, but yeah, again, another tick. So thank you, Jack. Christian Petrarca, now the track, his lowest score dating back to, in fact, lowest score all season, which is frustrating against the Dogs, 65. I think he got his hands on the ball a fair bit, but yeah, just didn't do really much with it. A lot of handballs. He had 23 disposals, but he ended up having 15 of those 23 as handballs. So annoying there. 2 marks, 2 tackles, and a goal. So is what it is, I guess. Caleb Daniel, 82. So he's finishing the season with a bit of a flurry, which is good to see after that score of 66, which a lot of people were thinking about trading him out. And I think it was around about 2.4% of the competition trading him out when a lot of people were thinking about trading him out. So 142, 82 over the past 2 weeks. And yeah, we'll obviously take that. And Tom McCarthy in our flex, another 80. So he's been ultra consistent and has been reliable as our flex option. So could be worse. And just that mid-season draftee, he's been a bit of a dynamo. 29 disposals, 3 marks, 2 tackles, 1 free for, and 3 against. So, yeah. Thank you, Tom. Campbell Gray, of course, is injured out for the season, you would think, for the Tigs. And then Cooper Simpson as well. He has returned, I think, from injury, but I think it'll be hard pressed to get a crack back in Frio's side over the past or next 2 rounds of the season. Let's quickly go through C's and VCs. So as I said, I think it's a gimme. If you're an owner of Grundy, if you're an owner of Bond, which you should be, especially of Bond, I think those are the 2 options there. Maxi Gawn against Hawthorn does interest me because I think Meek does give up points. And his past 3 games read as Gawn against Hawthorn, 142, which was back in round 9 this season, and then 113 and 94. So Could be a big score again from Maxi Gawn. Outside of that, Dacos, who do the Pies play? Adelaide. No, I reckon they might run a Sam Berry through Dacos, maybe just try and, I guess limit him. But he's been in some pretty good form. Like 95 he only scored against them last time, 105 and then 72. So no. Sarong I don't trust at all. Freo, they play Brisbane. No, I don't think I would. Why is he rated as 123 projected? Oh, wow. Okay. His recent scores against Brisbane look pretty good. 170, 126 and a 109. But even then, I don't think I could trust good old Sarong. What's Sarong? Yeah, no. Outside of that, Jezza, who does he play? Sydney? No, I don't think so. How's he scored against them? Yeah, 96, 106, 70. No, not captaincy scores. And yeah, he kind of fell in a heap. I was expecting much better return against the Dons with their decimated defence and just entire team. Didn't happen. Butters against Carlton. I reckon they might run Ollie Lord through him. Sorry, Cooper Lord, I should say. My boy, good old Scoops. He has done a number in the past couple of weeks and most recently on the weekend against Noah Anderson. I've been saying it in the preseason. If you're an avid watcher, listener of our content, you would have heard me talk about Cooper Simpson as a cash cow option. And now, what do we see? Voss is giving him a chance. He's not being the sub and he's scoring well. Lo and behold, gee whiz, put me on the recruiting team. Put me on the development squad at Carlton, honestly. He should have been playing full games from round one. Now we see him busting out those nice scores. And it's frustrating because, hey, he would have been a very nice SuperCoach selection had he been giving these opportunities. So, but, if you want to hear me chat about and argue and crack the shits about Carlton, bit of a plug here. Check out Blue Baggers Edge, the sister channel there on YouTube. But outside of that, in terms of guys that I have that I would be keen on for the VC, there's really no one outside of Grundy and Gorney that I would have confidence in. St Kilda, I guess, against Essendon. Yeah, that's probably makes sense. I'm looking at Sinclair here. But he's only scored in his past three, 99, 89 and 63. So, yeah. But anyway, we could sort of guesstimate for as long as we want. Of course, we will go through the best VC, best C options in our SuperCoach Edge weekly episode in our segment, I'm the Captain Now. So make sure to check that out. And we will go through all those big top options in detail and, of course, including those players not in my team. So make sure to tune in for that. Outside of that is my team. There's no real, unfortunately, I guess, loophole options that I can do because of the fact that Essendon hamstring me across the journey here. So very frustrating, but is what it is. So we'll just have to ride with it. And if we have any late outs, at least we've got the likes of Hall, Boxshall scoring well, and we can swing some DPPs. So that's what we have going for us at the moment. But outside of that, let's go through our leagues and check out the SuperCoach Edge Contributor Cash League 1 and 2, of course, and go through the results. So we had playing in the, I think it's the semi-final week, I think we call it, isn't it? Bluesman in 4th spot, who ended up losing to Sloppy Joe Lamb Pie in the first week of qualifying finals. And Grant went through with his double chance and unfortunately got barreled by the SuperCoach Edge combined father-in-law, Pistol Pete. Pete, he has come through with the goods with a very, very massive score. In fact, the biggest score of any of those that played in the semi-final week. So he bests, Bluesman, Grant's team, 2,744 to 2,542. So commiserations to you, Bluesman. But of course, you are more than welcome to jump back on the bandwagon for the Contributor Cash League for 2026. But all the very best to you, great man. As Tankers, Pete, he goes through to face off against Moves Like Jagger, who of course won the first final and was kicking his feet up on the weekend because he made his way through to the prelims. So Moves Like Jagger, Josh's team, faces off against Pistol Pete's Tankers in prelim final week. And then the other game this round just gone we had, believe it or not, the rampaging number 1 ticket holder, Adam's team, Dinner for Two. Would you believe it? He was victorious over Still Dream of Heaney, who finished in second spot. And much like Bluesman Grant, he squandered that second chance that he had, the double chance, by losing to Adam with a score. Adam, 2,599 to Zane's team, 2,484. So it is unfortunate. And a very, very nice win there from Adam, because Ads has actually, he finished in sixth spot, has gone through without the double chance, and now faces Sloppy Joe Lamb Pipe, which is a very, very daunting prospect, I think. Finished in first spot and first up, massive score with a 2,840. So if that's what he can produce, geez, Adam, you need to be on your game, mate. But you've done very, very well over the first 2 weeks of finals. So we have first place facing off against 6 in Sloppy Joe Lamb Pipe, Jonas's team against Ads, and then Tankers in 8th spot. Pete facing off against moves like Jagger, Josh's team, who finished in 3rd. So I like the look of this, because we have 2 teams that have gone through without the double chance, and then, of course, those teams that have gone through with the double chance but not needing it because they won in the first week. So all the very best to those 4 teams facing off for a spot in the grand final. And then in the second contributor cash league, we have results as such. So we had 4th spot facing off against 5th spot, Is Donny's Good 76 against Nards FC, and Mike, Is Donny's Good 76's team, was victorious against Nards FC, 2,621 against Nards, 2,594. So what's that? A 27-point margin. So it was relatively close. And commiserations to you, Nards, but thank you for being a participant and contributing to SuperCoach Edge as well with this cash league. You're a legend. And we also have the other result, Lazy Sunday, who was victorious against Small Victories, which I think is Emper's team. It was another, not narrow, because it was under 100 points. Margin was by the tune of 95 points. So Lazy Sunday was victorious, 2,599 against Emper's team, 2,504. So it was 6 plays, 3rd, and 6 goes through. And Is Donny's Good 76 in 4th spot goes through as well. So we have, for prelim final week, Adam, who won in the first week of finals, was just kicking his feet up and sipping pina coladas, all that sort of stuff. And he faces off against Lazy Sunday, Chris's team. And then we have Is Donny's Good facing off against Zora Chiller, Ryan's team. So 2v4 and 1, which is Adam's team, faces 6, which is Lazy Sunday's team. So all the very best to you for competing off for a spot in finals. So we will be watching that with bated breath and close interest heading into grand final week next week. But with that, I think that rounds things out for this episode of Damo's Team Talk. Short, sharp, snappy, the way we like it. So if you have any comments and questions, feel free, of course, as always, to list them down below if you are watching us on YouTube. You can hit us up on X as well, or Twitter, which is at supercoach_edge. You can hit me up at DamoJ88 as well. And likewise, if you are watching us on YouTube, don't forget to give us a like, give us a sub, of course. That's the best way to let us know that you are enjoying and have enjoyed our content across the course of 2025. And if you are listening to us on the audio podcast side of things, please consider giving us 5 stars. And you can also give us a rating and review, which is quite interesting as well, which I think is on Spotify and Apple Podcasts. So if you have some spare time up your sleeve, please feel free and give us a glowing review. That would be fantastic. In fact, the next person who gives us a glowing review, we will read it out on the podcast. So you've got a week to do it. Week to do it. And we will read it out next week, heading in, of course, to round 24, the grand final week, to celebrate. But with that, ladies and gents, that's us for another episode of Damo's Team Talk. Thank you as always for tuning in. And don't forget to tune in to our weekly episode, proper, of SuperCoach Edge, where we go through, best trades, which this time of year, just replacements. Anyone that has trades, who are you? There will be a couple out there. Don't worry. There are always some crazy folk out there with some trades up their sleeve. And of course, we'll go through the captains as well to help you pick the best high-scoring VC or C, all important for prelim final week. All the very best for the round to come. And we will check in once again, as I said, for the weekly SuperCoach Edge episode. But thank you for tuning in, and we'll catch you in the next one.